That was the essence of benchmarking. What portion of the journey are you talking about? What attribution model? And also, what accounting model are you talking about? If you can't answer those questions, you don't have a target or a goal and can't benchmark yet. Because you can't treat everything as in my remarketing, my cold traffic, my YouTube, my TikTok can't all get 300 NCACs. They're going to all look differently in the portions of the journey for the applicable traffic that you're bringing in.
Can I ask you a question on the inside Meta? Inside Meta, percentage of new visits. What is your indication here that the data that you're looking at, what is Meta telling you as far as like how many of these people are new visitors?
Do you
look at that at all? Or do you I notice it's not a column that you have.
Yeah, what I would do is I forget where the report is for new audiences, engaged audiences. I forgot the breakdown. How to get there. I was looking at the other day and it just was very incorrect. But I actually don't use anything inside of Meta except for frequency and click the rate.
Got it. But that's my point.
Yeah.
To a degree, because there are some people that actually do use that and they're like, well, Meta is telling me this is like a percentage of new visits versus returning, which is model data that's based on first click, last click, view through.
Yeah, and that's one thing is like these results may not include all conversion data. Statistical modeling, what basically means is, we here's what we think happened.
Yeah,
this is what we think. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not in the business of getting fired off of what Google wants to feed or what Meta wants to feed me as what they think happened that day. That's not a good way to grow a company. That's a good way to not get fired if you're just simply a person pressing buttons, but that is not growing businesses. Right.
However, Meta wants you to make it think that it's doing its job here.
Right. I'm importing new customers. Why is it weird?
Right. You actually have a custom conversion that's based on like the blot out technology. So it should be fairly accurate, but it's modeled data, view through, last click, first click, whatever the hell, modeling really means for Facebook or for Meta specifically. Like they're trying to make it look as good as possible. Not because they want to purposely deceive you, because we have a lot of friends at Meta.
Yeah, they just use a different attribution model.
They do.
So
and it's not accurate.
Well, what's funny is it actually could be accurate, but no one has any ability to prove it ever because they're using engaged view data. That is okay. That's completely fine with me. As long as that stays 185 and this stays 300, you could say we also have how many moons rose that day. Great. I don't track whatever you want, Meta. Just don't change.
It's a number. It's a number. 185 is a number to you.
This does not mean anything to me. It only matters if it moves up.
That's my point. And that's what benchmarking at the essence of it really is. You're comparing the two platforms together. Say, are they rising? Are they falling?
Well, there's another the essence of benchmarking, I think, too. There's just as big of reasons. So great, that says 185. That's fucking simple. I don't need Data Suite to do that. Well, sort of. So as you look at your benchmarking and you say, okay, this is 185. I think where this actually becomes tangible for a lot of users is then you can go into your cost cap and say, here's 200 cost cap goal. I know it can't go over 185, so I'll put a cost cap of 200. Now, what happens when you take that cost cap and in the last 19 days, whoa, that thing went all sorts of weird. Hold on. I don't like their sorting. It never makes sense. Okay, there we go. So that cost cap one right here, we added 71 grand right after Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So we scaled this up 300%. And what the heck is going on? I keep pressing the wrong button. And my cost caps actually took my 294 that was way above goal and brought it down to below benchmarked goal, which allowed me to drop my NCAC to my target. So goal setting is important because yes, this is wrong, but you still need to respect it with a great degree of seriousness because this is what Meta is going to use to optimize your campaigns.
When did you put the cost cap on? Right after Black Friday, Cyber Monday?
11/25.
Okay.
November 25th.
Super interesting.
Well, typically what you think is like, wait, how are you scaling after Black Friday and Cyber Monday, especially on a dog supplement that's talking about, hip health. Yeah. Like this shit works. Now, this was a result of feeder strategy. Actually, that's how we scaled.
I'm just asking you whether or not I mean, typically that is a governor on your campaigns for ad spend, but it did not seem to be the case here.
Well, you actually lift the governors with feeder strategy. That's why the scales.
Got it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yep. So we developed our own audience to then blast through So what you're seeing is application of feeder strategy due to limitations of restrictions you have to place in that you found through benchmarking.
Got it.
So now with feeder strategy, we're able to add in 100 grand this month and bring it from 161 to 265. And my in-app and my in-application fell below my 186 target and right into 185 territory, which is great. They moved about the same rate because it is the same audience. These two campaigns are going after the exact same people. So fine, have them look the same as purchase NC, but as long as my NCAC equals a 305. So your traffic teams, your creative teams are all looking at in-app metrics, which is what now no longer interrupts your day. But the manager who would be overseeing those teams is also informing them and keeping them afloat of this is your in-app benchmark target to achieve a top-line business goal.
All right. Let me ask you my big question here. How did you, people are like, all right, I get it. I might have to watch this video a couple of times. That's okay. We'll put it on repeat. We're going to drop it back into YouTube as soon as we're done here. The point is how did you arrive at 300 to begin with?
Yeah. So for 300, we looked at all of the revenue that we were making on all of our returning traffics. So email, organic, direct, Amazon, and then in-app that's self-contributed. And we took our global cost of acquiring each first-time customer, and we counted Amazon as all defaulted to new customers because we can't see new versus returning. But if we make them all new, that will contribute to a artificially lower NCAC, but still be stable, have enough stability to benchmark against.
Okay.
So that actually brought us down to if we have 60% of our sales happening on Amazon and we want a 150 NCAC, we can go up to a 180, 190 NCAC on the other models. So all this means is that a 305 in app, which is about 40 to 50% ish each day of our total new customers, that means that our total new customers is actually 150 new customer cost.
Here's another question for you. We don't have Amazon data in here.
Right.
Do these guys want to be part of the Amazon beta with Wicked Reports?
Could be. It wouldn't change much unless it's if it's a higher cost.
I mean, no.
Maybe. All right, then yeah, it's probably should be pretty good then.
Yeah.
This one's an outlier just because it's like a structure setup that was used as modeling around.
It was okay. Got it. But so my point is that it would be great to have in your sort of command and central to be able to see all the individual channels with Amazon data being piped in. You won't really be able to differentiate new versus returning versus like which campaign it actually came from or any of that. I assume you're not running any Amazon ads.
No, we run Amazon ads. This is all brand, so we don't really care.
Okay, all brand. Got it.
Yeah, it's all brand. So if our A cost is under 15, we don't really care.
Got it.
But that's factored into our top line NCAC as our A cost, but that's why we spend very little on brand. It's also another reason why we spend very little on brand, and because when you combine benchmarking with A cost, what you get is actually something that will say, hey, we're getting 251 in Facebook and 266 instead of Google. Excellent. Why are you only giving 12 grand to Google if they're within, $15 in NCAC? Well, that's because this is every 8,000 clicks I get, only 246 are new. And that means I get 2.8% new visits. Why? We're purposely running PMAX. So that's just remarketing. But it's giving us a similar NCAC because that is our benchmarked goal. So back into here now, here's the other part is benchmarking came through as actually an idea, I guess, a theory, because of the different portions of the journey are costing different amounts. So we've touched upon a benchmarking for cold traffic when you're running a conversion campaign, but what about a video campaign? What about a traffic campaign? What about X? Now, what about YouTube? Now, what about brand? Now, what about display remarketing? What about discovery? All of these campaigns will have their own individual benchmarks. Every channel will have its own individual benchmarks. Every audience type in each one of these individual channels will have its own benchmark. What I mean by that is if we look at a time period when we were running our traffic campaigns, when we were running feeder strategy, the way that you measure this here, and I'm just going to pause camera just for a moment because it sometimes takes a little while to load. So you still hopefully can hear me, but you're going to see some better stuff. All right. So when we were running feeder strategy,
you look a lot better right now, by the way.
I am now perfect face for radio. So we have a $300 conversion campaign and a $500 NCAC for our traffic campaigns. Why? It's the same creative. It's the same audiences. So same creative in this campaign as this campaign, same audiences in both campaigns. So what's the difference between a 342 and a 459? This one should obviously be shut off. No, different traffic objective. This one, or sorry, different audience objective. So this is going after a conversion audience, and this is going after a traffic audience. These are the people that Meta has identified as being ready to purchase. These are people Meta had identified as people that are probably interested, closer to the buying cycle, closer or farther away from the buying cycle. So as you go colder, your NCAC benchmarks can afford to go higher from first click. But check this out, 342 and 459. Let's change the attribution model now to conversion date full funnel. And what this will tell us is if you got a first click that the NCAC was not very high on, after they've gone through the journey of the subsequent clicks in all other channels, then what popped out on the other side? Aha. Your benchmark $500 first click NCAC on a accrual model actually now beats on a cash model. Your traffic campaign's actually beating your conversion campaign on a cash model. So what this is actually showing us is that when the first click is actually coming into the traffic at a higher NCAC, it's going to get multiple subsequent clicks inside of the traffic campaigns to warm them up. And then once they become targeted into the conversion campaigns, your CPM and CPCs go up, but you're still within benchmark NCACs, which is why 271 and 319 equate to a 305 NCAC, which means it's stable, but now you're bringing in a massive amount of new people for only a 20% incremental increase in lift of budget. And these two now equal, what is the average of 320 and 270? About 290. But 290, but then you got to weight it a little bit higher. This one than that one puts it up to 300, and ta-da, it has not changed. That's why benchmarking is important. What can you pay for a first click NCAC on a person not interested in Meta? $500. When they're interested by Meta, $300. That's a $200 NCAC difference that did not make actually any measurable difference at the end of the day. But what is your traffic campaign? I don't know. I got to get a 4x ROAS. What portion of the journey are you talking about? What attribution model? And also what accounting model are you talking about? If you can't answer those questions, you don't have a target or a goal and can't benchmark yet.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
That was the essence of benchmarking, because you can't treat everything as in my remarketing, my cold traffic, my YouTube, my TikTok can't all get 300 NCACs. They're going to all look differently in the portions of the journey for the applicable traffic that you're bringing in.